Since Russia, let's have a warm welcome, please, for Alexei Ягудин.
Trying to put many of the events of this past year behind him and get off to a great start this season. In first place after the short program, here is 19-year-old Alexei Ягудin of Russia.
And he's skating to the soundtrack from the movie The Broken Arrow, story of revenge. A friend who's been killed and his death has to be avenged. His first triple axel. Superb height on those jumps. Really good height. What he needs to hold himself in first place is this quadruple toe. Popped right out of that one. That's a nightmare that every skater has to face sometimes. He has the opportunity to repeat it later. Here's a second triple axel. Beautiful height on that death drop. Now that had real spring to it.
As we mentioned earlier, a skater can compete in up to 3 of the Grand Prix events. Only 2 of them count in the standings. And Alexei has determined that this will be a non-scoring event for him.
But the flip side of that is that if he does well here, he denies points to some of the other skaters who may end up being his closest competitors. Triple flip combination first, a triple flip, triple toe loop.
Halfway through this free skate. Remember the problems he had with the altitude in the short program.
Well, I think if you notice, I mean, you see that stumble right there. I think you'll notice that he's skating very conservatively and very slowly. He has to be able to conserve his strength. Triple loop jump. Spread eagle. Triple Lutz jump. Straight line footwork. Triple south. I think he's exhausted here at this point. That was supposed to have been a flying spin at the end. He substituted a straight spin. You can see he's exhausted here. He can barely move.
May need the oxygen once again.
Oh, listen, I wouldn't doubt it at all. Now, I don't know how the judges will reflect this, reflect the fact that he didn't get all of those quadruples, but on the other hand, Timothy Gable missed 2 of his first jumps. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops.
And Ягудин was in first place after the short program.
Well, this is the last triple salchow. Now watch how he just goes up and is leaning out and barely, I don't think he has the energy to hold that edge. And right there. You saw he missed that jump into that spin, just flopped over into it, very second rate.
And now the judges' marks for Ягудin for technical merit.
Anxious moments for the two-time and reigning world champion right now as he sits alongside his coach, Tatiana Tarasova. Now the first set of marks for technical merit, Dick.
Well, they're about the same. You have to examine them very carefully, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was right up there with Timothy Gable.
5.3 up to 5.8, and now the second set of marks for presentation.
Well, you got some 5.9s in there, and the rest 5.8s and 1 or 2. I think that's going to be very close.
So those are good enough, though, to put Alexei Ягудин in the lead over Timothy Gable. More to come, though, including the U.S. champion Michael Weiss still to skate, and there is room at the top.